Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Led Zeppelin's second 1969 album called Led Zeppelin II. Great name. It's pretty good. I would definitely say that it's a good album, but it is pretty similar to their first album. So if you didn't really like that one, this one's probably not going to change your opinion on them. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist. 6 out of 9, 2/3 of the album. This album is definitely pretty good. It's got a good variety, but still a consistent style, and it sounds pretty great overall. Most of the songs here are good, and they flow pretty well around each other. The style overall is pretty similar to the first album. It's blues and sort of traditional late 60s rock tracks. But this one does have more variety, I would say, especially since there's no covers on this album. Their first album had a couple of covers on it that made it sounded a little bit less original, a little more older than it was. So overall the songs are a lot more original on this one, and they sound a lot better because of that. Both sides, side 1 and side 2, are pretty similar. I think that side 1 is put together a little bit better, while side 2 sticks to a sort of single sound. But the single sound is pretty good, and the together is pretty good. So both of the sides are both pretty good, and the whole album kind of comes together pretty well. There were no singles released before this album, but my favorite song here is Ramble On. It's a sort of hard rock, a little bit metal sounding, a little bit. It really doesn't really stop. It's a pretty good track. There was some competition from the track right before it, Living Maid, but I think I like Ramble On better. It's just a little bit more, got a little bit more oomph to it, I think. Now, I rank this album over their first, so I think Led Zeppelin II is better than Led Zeppelin I, mostly due to the lack of covers on the second one. Both albums are pretty similar in style and quality, but I think the second one is just a little bit better due to a slight increase in variety and more originality. It's pretty close, though. Really, Led Zeppelin II is really only a hair better than Led Zeppelin I, because they're both pretty similar and they're both pretty good. So, however, this album doesn't take my top spot from 1969. That stays with Abbey Road by the Beatles, which I think I like better. I feel like if Led Zeppelin had started just a year or two earlier, they might have been able to contest this spot more effectively. But as it stands, I mean, the Beatles' Abbey Road is just really, really good, and they need at least a couple more years to really nail down a wider variety and make get some better stuff going for Led Zeppelin. So the Beatles keep it. Next up will be Billy Joel's 1976 album, Turnstiles. It's pretty good. It's certainly one of his best albums, one of his better albums. It features a wide variety of great songs. So I'm pretty excited about that. So stay tuned for that. And as always, stay minty.